Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how to get this to be prepped to look like this. I'm going to go through what to take off, what you're going to need for it. I'm just going to go over what you need to do this. So here is a pair of scissors. This is the scissors I use. I don't think they're any special type. They're not serrated or anything, and they're rounded end, so it doesn't really matter, but whatever scissors work for you. Here are a pair of pliers. I use these to take off the buttons. I use this part here in the pliers. You can see it there. It's kind of got an edge to it, but that clamps off the metal, so you want to make sure your pair of pliers has this before you start. I'm sure you can also take the denim out around the buttons, but this is a far easier and quicker way of doing it. And here is a stitch ripper. These are very common, pretty much in any sewing kit. So I assume if you are a hand sewer, you have one of these. But yeah, they're just handy to use if you want this done a bit more cleaner. It won't matter overall as you're covering everything up anyway. But if you want it done that way, you can. To start off, I'm going to take off the pockets here. So all you want to do is have your scissors and you want to follow the top seam along here and just cut it off. It doesn't really matter how messy it is, it will be covered up, but if I'm doing a bit cleaner, you can take the stitch ripper and rip off the stitch that is underneath here and take it all the way out. This is much more time consuming but cleaner. So I'm going to go do that and I'll show you the product. And this is what I took off. So it's just a straight cut along the top line here. There will be a little bit of denim left over, but it won't matter, you're going to cover up anyway. So moving on from that, to take off the button, what we're going to do is you want to find the back of the button here. If you can't find it, then maybe there's fabric over it and you need to cut in to open it up. So after taking off, you should have the back. I did it quite messy. I put it in the wrong position first, but I got it off. You should be with the little circle, and you should have the front with the back pinched, as you can see there. There is a little sharp bit there. That is what you pinched off essentially. And you're just going to repeat that for every button, on the back, all down the sides. Here, I'm going to take off all of them, so then they can be covered up with patches. Now, moving on to the bit that I see people leave out the most on full coverage jackets. Here we have, whatever this is, I'm not sure what the technical term is, but I'm pretty sure it cinches it in at the back here. If you do this, you can connect it up and all. As I said before, you'll be taking off these buttons, so, that's the function, I guess. But the stitch ripper is very helpful here, because you can cut this bit off here, but then this lump is still here, so you can just stitch rip that off. I'll go do that and I'll show you the finished product. So I've now finished that part. Here is what I took off. I also took off the buttons. You can kind of see where it used to be right there. Yeah, now moving on to the sleeves. So the big one, the sleeves. This is what makes your jacket a vest. Now this is an optional bit. You don't need to take them off, but full coveraging sleeves is very hard and will cost a lot more, and it'll be very rigid, so I would recommend taking them off. I think it looks better personally. All you want to do is create a hole in here in the stitch, wherever on the stitch line, with a stitch ripper, a pair of scissors if they're sharp at the end, whatever, and then you want to use that hole and then cut all the way through. So I'll use my stitch ripper quickly to show you what I mean. So you take the stitch ripper, put it in, and then you just rip the denim. Now you can see there, where my finger is there, I've made a hole, and I'm going to use that hole, put the scissors in there, and go around. So here is the finished product, and here is the sleeve. It's not the cleanest job, as you can see, but I know some people leave bits on to fray and give like that rugged look. I don't personally like that, but if you want to leave a little bit on to fray and to give it a bit more style, I guess, then you can do that. I've seen it done lots, but it's not something I like to do with my jackets. I've also seen people leave like a little shoulder bits on, like a shoulder pad type thing. That can also look quite good. Again, not something I want to do with my jackets, but it's your jacket, do what you please. I'll go hang this up and take a full video of it. So here is the finished jacket. As you can see, the sleeves are off, both sides, the pockets I took off all the buttons. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, you could cut off these pockets on the inside if your jacket has those. It just stops it from being as thick when you're sewing through it, but that's not something that is necessary. Now, after cutting everything off, what you can do, if you still want your jacket to close, is put a zip on it. Now, on both of my jackets, I have a zip, as you can see. It's pretty easy to put in. What you want is a zip that detaches, not a bag zip that doesn't detach. You want zips that come into two separate pieces. And you just sew one on the inside. Now, that isn't the sewing of the zip, that's the sewing of the patches. There's a black whip stitch going up and down this. That keeps it in place. And yeah, just lay it out, pin it up, and if you want your jacket to close still, you can do that. But yeah, that's about it. If you like the video, it would help a lot if you subscribed. If you go to my Instagram and follow me, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have if you DM me. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope this helped with anyone that is wanting to start a full coverage jacket. If anyone's interested in how I lay out patches, then let me know. Thank you.